everybody.
Hello. Hey, good evening, everyone. Well, how are you guys doing this evening? We're Will and Faith Scott. We get to the root health and wellness, and we want to welcome you to another episode of Healthy Habits, Healthy Life. Healthy Habits and Healthy Life is where we come. We talk about how our choices become our habits, and our habits creates our lifestyle. So, welcome
Yes.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening. Got a great topic for you this Wednesday. I want you to chime in and just take about maybe 30 minutes of your time to let's bring some awareness. And that's what this is all about. Us growing together, learning together, becoming wise together. And this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening. So good evening, Miss Tiffany. How are you? It's so good to see you. And Jody, welcome to our weekly episode of Healthy Habits, Healthy Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, like Will just said, we're Will and Faith. If it's your first time joining us, go ahead on and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We love to come, inspire, motivate, and educate on how we all can just live a healthy life.
Yes.
And we all know that begins with the choices we make on a day-to-day basis.
That's
okay.
Right.
So if you're interested on how to live a healthier lifestyle, then go ahead on and connect with us. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to walk this journey together.
Absolutely.
Again, if you're joining us live, go ahead on and say hello and let us know where you're joining us live from.
That's right.
And today's topic, I'm so excited about because
it's a good topic.
I'm guilty of it.
I am too.
We'll be talking about stress.
Yes.
Right? And how it really affects our health. So I'm going to raise my hand and my toes and everything, my feet, because I'm guilty of it. So Dr. Will definitely will be sharing some insight for us all. And if you want to, leave some comments below on how you deal with stress.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I would love to hear that.
Yes. So again, we appreciate you. We have a lot of new people joining us in. Have Mr. George Knight.
Oh, hey, Mr. Knight.
Thank you for joining us all the way from Virginia.
All the way from VA.
Yes. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, Dr. Will.
Yes, ma'am.
The topic tonight.
Yes, ma'am. The topic tonight is going to be the awareness of stress.
Okay.
That's what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to get our screen showing here, our PowerPoint screen. And at any time, like I said, we say chime in. Let us know where you're coming in from. If you have any questions, if you have comments, please come on and do that. So the title this evening is The Awareness of Stress. And this is something that is very tough to gauge because it's intangible. It's not something that you can put your hands on. So you have to become aware of it. To be quite honest with you, a lot of us are in chronic stress every single day. And it's one of those things what we want to do is try to bring an awareness to it when we're going through it. There is no way to avoid it. Okay. There is no way to avoid it. And we will get more into that as we get into the presentation. So let's go and look at our agenda for this evening. So this is our agenda. Okay. First of all, we're going to discuss rather quickly what is stress. And then also what are stressors. Okay. So we have stress, you have stressors. We're going to also talk about how does stress affect our health. And then we're going to wrap it up by sharing some simple ways to relieve stress. Now, I just want to let you know before we get started, stress is a very, very large and broad topic. So Queen and I, we're just going to do a summation basically of what stress is and some of the things of stress. There are so many other portions of stress. I mean, I could actually break stress down and unpackage it, and it'd take us probably about, I want to say, at least a month of episodes to really dive deep into stress, okay? Because we can talk about the hormonal changes of stress. We can talk about the psychosocial aspects of stress. There are so many aspects and so many different categories of stress, different types. And so we're just going to do a summation of it. If you really want to get more in depth about the stress, just let us know and we can break it down, okay? So first of all, let's go into what is stress. Hey there, Gunther. I see a lot of you guys there. So thank you so much for, I'm going to get Queen to go on and click on these for me. Okay. So I have a few different definitions of stress here for you. Okay. So the first one is stress. What is stress? Stress is the body's response to what? A challenge or a demand. No matter what it is. It is also the physiological response of the body and the mind. Okay. It could be a negative or positive emotional response. Most of us, we always think of stress as being a negative device. Not thinking about maybe it being positive at some point, and it is. And then also a state of mental tension and worry because by problems in someone's life or work or something like that, or something that's going on. So these are basic definitions of what stress is. And we're going to share this evening about exactly, I want to get a little bit more into this screen right here. So we take a pause and stick a pin in that real quickly. So the body's response to a challenge or demand. And this doesn't matter. I mean, we can go to start working out, and if you have to take some type of test, where I used to be in the military for many, many years. And every time before I took my Army physical fitness test, my heart rate would just start racing. It would just race, and my adrenaline would start flowing. And I had a certain nervousness that was going on, but that was my body responding to the stress that I felt taking that test. Now, mind you, I worked out very hard, I still do, but I really worked out very, very hard then, preparing myself for the test. But nonetheless, every time I went to take that test, I would have that slight anxiety right before the test started. Now, once I started in the test, then the anxiety would subside. My body's like, hey, you ready for this? And I would ace the test. But that may have happened to you before. I mean, your body would naturally respond. They call it fight or flight. Okay. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but that was a technique that was used way, way back when in the cavemen and cavewomen days, when we were actually out there and trying to defend ourselves against wildlife and things like that. And hunters and gatherers, we was out there just trying to eat and survive on a daily basis. Okay. That was a natural reaction that was within us that allowed us to either fight or flight. And our adrenaline and everything would flow with that. So you also have the psychophysiological response. Okay. So I know that's a big, huge word. Basically, all that is the interrelationship between your mind and your body, and that's doing a normal process. So when your body is processing, it's the psychophysiological response. Your body thinks something or sees something, it appraises it, whether it's a threat, whether it's harm, and then your body will start releasing hormones to actually deal with that situation if it's a stressful situation. Okay, so that's what the psychophysiological response is. A negative, most of us are familiar with negative stress, so I don't think I have to elaborate too much on that. But the positive stress, what about that? Maybe you just got a promotion on your job and you don't know if you can really handle that next promotion. You would get little anxieties in you. You want to know if people will really relate to you as now being the new boss in the office. So you kind of, oh my goodness, you got a little jitters because you're going into a place of unknown. Right. You're not really sure of yourself. So, and it would raise, your body would start preparing itself to deal with these adversities that you may have in your office or your workplace. Okay. Another positive experience is maybe having a child. You would have that child, and now it's like it's a new baby in the house. I mean, you want to make sure you take care of the baby. You want to make sure, and all these other attributes that goes into raising a child now. So, but it is positive, right? It is positive because you're happy that your baby is here and everything. But now I'm feeling the anxieties of, hey, am I going to be a good mom? Am I going to be a good dad? And I think some mothers may go through this. I mean, I've heard I can't recall. Postpartum. There you go, Queen. Yeah. You go through that postpartum, where you don't know if you are able to take care of your little one and all of that. I mean, it's real. It's very real, and it's very stressful. Yes. So I want to bring that out to you. And then the last one is a state of mental tension. and where it caused by problems in someone's life or at work. Okay, so these are the many different definitions of stress. Now, like I said, it's very, very difficult to pinpoint a stressful moment because it happens to us all the time. Now, and there is no way to not have stress in your life on a daily basis. Okay. Mm-hmm. The only thing we can do is we can learn the different and become aware of what stress is, stressful situations, right? And then we will incorporate a reduction or methodologies that would help us, that would help us to reduce that stress level.
Well, so, I am all ears, Dr. Will. I am all ears.
Yes. So we're going to get into now, what are stressors? I know a lot of people want to know what are stressors, and it's a very, very simple definition. Stressful life events are stressors. Okay, so whatever you go through in life, it could be all kind of different things that you go on a daily basis. I mean, so you're in traffic, you're on your way to work. Mm-hmm. It looks like you might be late. Mm-hmm. That's a stressor. Okay. Someone's driving slow. Mm-hmm. You ever had to drive somewhere and someone in front of you and they're driving extremely slow? You're like, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. With this person, at least please drive the speed limit. And I mean, you can't get around the person. You can't go around them. You have to follow them. And you're like, okay. So it's happened to me many times. I'll be going through the gate at Fort Knox and I'm like, okay, now all these people here now, I'm in this lane over here and somebody want to cut across the lane. And I'm like, Then I'll just start singing, whatever is on the radio to try to reduce that anxiety from what the person is doing. Okay. But enough about me. But let's look at these. These are the 5 top stressors in the United States. They said these are money, the economy, work, family health problems, and then also family responsibilities. These are the 5 top stressors in the United States. So we're going to be aware of that. So, all right, let's go here to the next one, Queen. Let's see. All right. So how does stress affect our health? Okay, it's broken down into 4 pathways. If you see that, you have the direct physiological on the very, very top. You have health behavior changes. Then you have psychosocial resources. Okay, and then healthcare. Those are the 4 pathways that how stress affects our health. And if you look at the direct physiological, it elevates your lipids. Okay, so fat cells elevate because cortisol elevates, and cortisol is trying to bring equilibrium or bring balance back to our bodies. Mm-hmm. But what happens is when that cortisol raises, it causes our bodies to retain fat. Okay, and fat is a natural component in our bodies to help us to survive. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we go into this survival mode when you get stressed. Everything starts working at a very rapid rate. Okay. Mm-hmm. So elevated blood pressure, that happens all the time. Let me ask you a question. Did it ever happen to you when you go into the doctor, what do they call that? The white coat syndrome. You go in to see your doctor and all of a sudden your heart rate starts beating rapidly and they go to take your blood pressure. And you're like, oh my goodness. And they say, well, just relax, just sit there for a moment. Let me see if it goes. I'm happy to say I had a pretty good blood pressure the other day when I went in for a dentist appointment. So, but elevated blood pressure, increased hormonal activity, definitely. And that's what I was talking about earlier with the cortisol coming into effect. And there are many other hormones that we're just not going to get into this evening, but a whole lot of that going on. I can tell you also with this physiological, direct physiological, when you start working out, all of these things happen to you. Okay, your blood pressure raises up. Your heart rate raises up. I mean, the heat, the thermogenesis in your body increases. The hormone activity increases. So, and that's just from working out. Okay. So you have this direct physiological response when you actually do a workout. Okay. So I don't know if anyone have any questions down there. See, okay. Yeah. All right. So health behavior changes. Okay. Sometimes people believe that they could deal with stress better by drinking and smoking, right? So the increase in drinking, some people start smoking. They feel like they say that calms their nerves. You may have heard that before. Actually, it has the reverse effect. Okay, when you drink and smoke, particularly when you're drinking a lot of caffeine. Okay, you want to be careful with caffeine because caffeine definitely increases your anxiety. It seems like a lot of people say, "Hey, give me a cup of coffee or give me what is those Red Bulls or something, and it calms my nerves down." But actually, it increases. It causes your body to race at a higher rate. So you want to eliminate that. Typically, when people are going through stress, they do not want to exercise. They want to reduce their level of exercise. They decrease sleep. They like stay up. They have insomnia. They can't go to sleep. They can't relax. Their diets are poor. They have poor diets. And also they decreased in nutrition. Their nutrition decreases dramatically, okay, when stressful events going on. So we have the psychosocial resources, and basically this is your social network, your family and friends that you have. You're dealing with most people when they're getting stressed out, they don't want to be around other people. Okay, they have no social support whatsoever. They very low optimism about life and about other things that's going on. They have a low self-esteem typically when they're being stressed like that. So you want to be careful. These are the different ways that stress can affect our bodies, you know, and it can cause us to go into coronary artery card disease. I mean, it really affects us physically. And the thing is, like I said, it's intangible, so you don't even know it. Definitely in healthcare, typically a person that's stressed out don't want to follow treatment, their health care treatments. They don't want to follow that. And they even delay in seeking care. They feel like, hey, I don't want to expose myself. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't even want to look at it. And then we have reduced chances of seeking healthcare, which means, of course, now you're sick, all right? You're mentally and physically sick. Now you have other chronic illnesses and diseases that are coming in, that are creeping in to hurt us. So the last thing you want to do is stay away from loved ones or stay away from healthcare that could probably help us to move past what's going on. And that's all because of anxiety, depression, and the stress that's been associated with these different pathways. So these are the 4 primary pathways of how stress affects our health. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one. I think we can move into something a little bit better here. We're going to move into what? Simple ways to relieve stress. And when I was doing some research on this, there were many things, different methodologies out there that would help us to reduce stress. Now, you heard, I didn't say eliminate stress because there's no way to eliminate it. Okay. On a daily basis, we're going to go through stress. Okay. We just need to be able to recognize it. And then at the most, just try to do something to reduce it back down, to try to get that stress off us, get us back down to equilibrium, to a balance, you know, where we can emotionally, we have this emotional resilience that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. And that emotional resilience is the ability to be able to bounce back after a stressful situation. Okay. And how strong you are at doing that. And one of the ways you can bounce back quickly is by understanding how stress affects us. With it being intangible, you got to know the different signs and symptoms and triggers and warning signs of stress. And then that way we can hopefully deal with that situation. So let's go over a couple of these ways to relieve stress. Exercise is a great way. That's one thing. If you maybe have some anxiety going on, I guarantee you get a good HIIT workout in there. After a while, your body's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about the anxiety. You're trying to survive at this point because everything is going on, trying to catch your breath and everything. So exercise is a great way to relieve stress. Okay. Exercise it your way. Exercise what you like to do. Whatever exercise you like to do, then that's what you do. If it's walking, if it's riding a bike, so on and so forth, high intensity interval training, whatever it is. But some type of physical exercise will help you to reduce that. One that I don't have on here, since we're already talking about exercise, is cuddling. Okay, you want to cuddle with a person. You want to get with that person that wonderful loved one, and I'll leave it very generic right there.
Mm-hmm.
But that has been known to really reduce cuddling, hugging, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those really reduce the stress. I mean, it puts you at a great mindset,
Mm-hmm.
but your body is great, your heart rate is great. So we call it the happy place. We go to the happy place. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the cuddling. We have light a candle, aromatherapy. A lot of people really exercise aromatherapy. It is really nice. Lavender is one of the scents, candle scents, or just regular scents in general that is used for relaxation. And there are many others. I mean, it was about 10 or 15 when I was doing research on stress. It was like 10 or 15 different types of aromatherapy or scents that was out there, and they all did something a little different. It was really intriguing when I was looking at it. Wow, I didn't know that. And all kinds. I mean, frankincense, myrrh. I mean, it was tons and tons of it. So we talked about this earlier, reducing caffeine intake.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. You want to reduce your caffeine intake. And definitely because, I mean, you drink your coffee and eat sports drinks and all these things, but just bear in mind that they do increase your anxiety level. Okay, you want to make sure of that. And I to share this with you real quick. When I was doing my research and my dissertation, I found out that in Europe, it is illegal to sell like these high sports drinks.
Wow.
to minors.
Really?
So the Red Bulls and all of that, anything that's caffeine related or heavily caffeine, you can't even sell it, and you can't advertise it to children in the EU, which I thought was wow. I was like, wow, the EU don't even allow that, but over here we can get it like it's nothing. So
Right.
You want to be careful with that. Okay. Here's a nice one. Write it down. You're going through a particular stress situation, write it down. It does a couple things. Okay. When you write something down, first of all, you have to write it down. So you have to take time out. You have to pause. You have to write. You have to think. So it allows you to really, really use like a rest pause methodology to reflect on, wow, I am seriously going through this. And when you write it out, something happens in your neurons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes you really focus on, is it worth me getting upset about whatever the situation is? Okay, it's just another method for relieving or reducing stress. Okay, it may not work for you, but give it a try. If you haven't tried it before, then give it a try. All right. Spend time with friends and family. Okay, that social environment is huge. It is really, really important to be able to spend time with someone that you love, family and friends. I tell you, you want to have that social community around you or available to you should you go through a stressful event. You'd be surprised being around someone else and just having a sounding board, someone that you can talk to, how much more that will relieve your stress level, just being able to get it out, and for someone to be able to relate to what you're going through. Okay. Another thing is laugh. And I like to laugh.
Yes, you do.
I laugh. But, it's nothing like a good belly laugh.
Right.
I mean, just deep down, just laugh till you're shedding tears and you just crying, you're laughing. It's something about it. I tell you, it just really, it puts you at a whole nother state of mind. I mean, being able to laugh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Learn to say no. Now I'm saying this to my queen.
Woo!
Okay. Because Queen don't say, Queen don't hardly ever say no.
Oh my goodness.
Learn to say
That's
no.
Huge.
I put a capital N, little low.
Mm-hmm.
Please learn to say no sometimes. The people that you're around that keep asking and demanding so much of you, and they're around you, and when you tell them no, they love you. So you tell them no, they should be able to understand it. If they don't, no problem. That's their problem, not yours. So
right.
learn to say no. Okay, learn to say no sometimes. I mean, sometimes you need a break, and we can get caught up. I can be selfish, and our kids, they're selfish, and we put a lot of demand on Queen sometimes. But sometimes we need Queen to be able to regroup. For Queen, okay, not for me, not for the kids, not for her clients, and no one else, but Queen for Queen. Okay, so sometimes just learn to say no. This is a big one here. Avoid procrastination. Every time we get ready to go on vacation, we procrastinate all the way to the last minute, and then we running around the house like that movie Home
Alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we slept in. We running around throwing stuff and frustrated because we had a time set that we wanted to leave, and so procrastination is something. I tell you, procrastination raises your anxiety. I mean, to the 5th level, just like that. I mean, it really does. So if you can avoid procrastination, you on your way to relieving and reducing stress instantly. I guarantee you there, right? Practice yoga. Yoga is very good. It's a very good exercise, meditation, mindfulness. I have that down there with meditation. But you want to be able to hypnosis. I heard it was very, very good. Breathing techniques, deep breathing and meditation is really, really good. And listening to soothing music. These are just some methods that we can use to reduce or to go on and relieve our stress levels. Okay. Awesome. So basically that's our wrap for stress and just the awareness of stress. Believe me, we did a real light brush of stress because it gets so in depth. I mean, so we're
going to share, look at some comments we got going on. Yeah. Tiffany's stress is such a silent killer. It is. I am guilty of it myself, but I think Dr. Will mentioned research has shown that just keeping stress can cause heart disease.
Yes, it can.
And so I really need to work on that.
Yes, we do.
It's good stress and bad stress.
Yes, it is.
So thank you for that comment, Tiffany.
Tiffany. Thank you.
Mr. Gunther.
Yes,
Gunther. Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting a whole month of videos of breaking down the stress into different categories. Yes. Well, all right.
Thank you, Gunther. And I think we can do that because it's really is huge. It's necessary. I tell you, it is huge. I think we're going to start working on that.
It's huge.
Yes.
Karen is joining us all the way from Oregon. Hey, Karen. I'm sorry.
It's nice
it's raining in Oregon, but it's about to snow here in Kentucky. So we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for joining
us. Misty
Blue. Misty.
99% of my stress is from my job and my Atlanta commute.
Oh, yes.
I pray all day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, jobs can do it, Misty.
You know what I tell you, Misty, when you said Atlanta commute, the first thing I thought about was the old Spaghetti Junction. In Atlanta, I went to do a presentation in Atlanta, and we went into Spaghetti Junction. And if you're not familiar with Atlanta, driving, there is no 55, even though at 55 but there is no 55. Everybody was going 70, 75, 80. And when you're in Spaghetti Junction, and you need to know where you're going because it literally looks like it's just like this. Goodness. Lanes going all different ways, and it was horrific. I mean, so our prayers are with you, Misty.
Yes, most definitely. Jody.
Yes. Hey, Jody.
The best thing I've ever did to reduce stress was learn to say no not feel like I have to provide an explanation.
Wow, yeah.
I have to work on that, Jody.
Just say
no.
The more we missed that.
The more you do
it
to lessen your stress level, the easier it gets. Yes. Well, I must practice saying no. And not feel like I have to give an explanation.
Right? Or feel bad that you didn't do something.
Right. Yeah. So thank you for that, Jody.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you.
That's a big one, especially for us women, because we're, we're like nurturers. Yes. We're always giving and pouring out of ourselves and making sure the family's taken care of. Got the job. Got this. Got that. So. Yes. As women, we are
really need to practice that. I'm gonna tell you,
need to practice
every day. Almost going out the house, Queen's like, okay, all right. I see. Wait a minute. I got the kids out. I got Will out. I got this, and then she sit there for a second, and go, whoo. Then her phone go, and there's a client, and it is this. And I'll call her on a break. Hey, how's you doing? She be like. Oof, and I'm like, oh, okay, one of those days. So
yes.
So
here's a good one, Belinda. Thank you for joining us, Belinda. That's my sister, y'all. Sis? Hey, sis. She said, I relieve my stress by taking a power nap.
Yeah.
Now that's a good one. What, about a 10 to 15 minute nap?
Yeah, that power nap is awesome.
Yes. I think one of the doctors, I don't know, I've heard one of the physicians say that power naps are perfect.
Oh, yes.
To reboot, right?
Yes.
It's like you shut down your brain and reboot it. Yes. So,
That is so cool.
My only problem, I probably sleep for about 30, 40
minutes.
I was
just going to say, yep, look, we in chronic fatigue, right?
No, but it's all good. But a good 10, 15 minute nap, that's a good point. Huge. So thanks for sharing that. Thank you so much for that. Yes, sis. That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Jody, let me see. She says, I have 4 grandkids that live down the street and I love them. She corrected over here, 4 grandkids. Okay. And I love them to death, but I've learned to say no sometimes. There you go. Family is hard to say no to.
Yes.
So it's really hard to say no to family because you love me, right?
Yeah.
You love me, Grandma, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, you're
supposed to.
You're supposed to. Mm-hmm. And they throw them little eyes on you. You know, but no don't mean I don't love you.
Right.
No just means I love myself too.
Hey, and no don't mean that you're not going to do it at some point. It just means that you're not going to do it right now.
Exactly. So, exactly. That's good. That's good, Jody.
Yes, definitely.
We got some great comments coming in. Let's see. George, Mr. Knight, another way to release stress is not to be a slave to stuff and things in life. Mr. Knight, now you preaching. Now I'm gonna read that. Another way to release stress is not to be a slave to stuff and things in life.
My goodness.
And remember that your health is your wealth.
In life. Woo. Oh wow,
that is
huge.
So true.
Wow,
that's good. I got to chew on that one.
Yeah,
I got to chew on that one, Mr. Knight.
I'm chewing too.
So thank you. That is huge. That's a big one. That is. Because so many of us are, you know, we so
caught up in the stuff,
caught up into the stuff and the materialisms and trying to keep up with the Joneses and the Stevensons and all that, and you know.
Yeah, I got to get this new car because so and so got one.
Right.
I got to get this because so and so get one. You know.
Yes.
And I tell you, you know, I think it's great. You know, but sometimes, at least Queen and I have learned, you know, going into a store, you see something, you buy and you purchase on impulse.
Right.
And before you can get it out the store, you may have a reluctance there because you may be doing something you shouldn't be doing at that particular time, spending monies you shouldn't be spending at that particular time.
Yes.
And there goes the stress right there.
Yes.
Can't even enjoy it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So thanks for that comment,
so much,
Mr. Knight. Thank
so
you.
Awesome. Yes.
Mr. Gunther, let's see.
Yeah.
Bad bosses should be in the top 5 of stress. I think it was, right, Jobs?
Yeah, I think work was there.
Yeah, honey.
But you saying specifically bad bosses.
Got you, all caps.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. People can make it difficult.
You know, someone said a while ago, I mean, some years ago, they said, you know, the world would be perfect if it wasn't for people.
That's true.
So we have to learn to love them and learn to deal with them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
all
true.
Through my college, years, one of the things I learned in the earlier years was that dealing and working with cohorts, right? You had to be able to work with each other. And even though one of your teammates didn't want to help you with the project, but we still had to turn the project in and find out a way how we can get that person incorporated.
Yep. Hard to say no when you brought up not to say no as a child.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to dealing with people in authority positions.
Oh, yes.
Nah, that's a big one too.
That is huge. Yes.
That is huge.
Yes. They said a lot of times we say no more than anything else, particularly in raising children.
Yes.
And so that's huge right there. That's something we need to ponder a little bit.
Right.
But the no we're talking about is not particularly like saying no when you're raising or rearing children. Talking about what you know. We're talking about more of our responsibilities other people place on you and don't want for themselves, kind of. You know.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. That's good.
That is huge.
Got some great comments coming in.
Yes.
Thomas.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for joining us, Tom.
My faith is stress relief.
Wow. Yeah.
Spend time with a good book.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
like that. I like that. That's awesome, Tom.
That's a great point.
That is an awesome point.
Faith is huge. Yes. I must say it is for myself, because yes. I am a stressor. Mm-hmm. I'm guilty of it. Mm-hmm. But then I find myself saying, I just call on the name of Jesus. Mm-hmm. I call on his name because I don't know what else to do or say. Yeah. And I'm like, I try to figure it out. It's something about the name Jesus. Yeah. It just, for me, relieves my stress. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So thank you for that, Tom. Faith is huge because life, sometimes we just can't figure it out. That's right. And some of it is not for us to figure it out. That's true too. Because if we did, we would show enough bust a aorta up in here, because some things is just not for us to be in charge of. Right. Okay. So thank you for that, Tom. My faith is stress relief. That's awesome. And a good book. Yes. Well, as soon as I get to reading, I fall asleep sometimes.
So that's her relief.
So that's get a good book. That's her relief, put me right on out. Thanks for that comment. Thank you. So we appreciate each and every one of you joining us. Hopefully I was not as stressful. Okay, y'all. Tom is one of Will's. Yes. Will's supervisor.
Yes, right? He's my old boss. That's right. Yes. Hey, buddy. Definitely wasn't. We off the record, and I won't say it, but we had plenty great conversations. Yes, so yes, definitely wasn't a stressor.
That's what's up.
Not at all.
So again, this was a great topic.
This was a good topic.
Some more to dive into, Dr. Will. We're gonna have to really do some more research and just break it down. But dealing with stress is part of emotional resilience. Yes. Okay. It is. And we've been talking about healthy habits, healthy life. That's right. What is it?
Lifestyle medicine.
Lifestyle medicine. Reducing stress. Yes. Eating plants, loving more, moving our bodies. All of those are decisions we make on a daily basis that have a huge impact on our health. Absolutely. Okay. Yes. So as we bring our talk tonight to a close, we appreciate you all for joining us again. Yes. Next week, our topic is going to be.
Well, I'm thinking about a couple things. Okay. So, I want to think about personality traits in eating. Okay, so how your personality trait really determines the type of food and how and what you like to eat. That's going to be huge. We're going to look at the 5 main, what they call them, the big 5 personality traits. Okay, and we're going to see how that relates to eating. Okay, and I didn't say healthy eating either. Right. I just said eating. Okay. So it's going to be really, really interesting.
That sounds like an interesting topic. Yes. And for those of you who are joining us or watching a replay, if you have any topics that you want us to touch on and dialogue about, leave a comment below and we'll definitely bring it. Absolutely. Bring it. So again, we're going to come to a close. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I got to do that. I love you too, Tom. Okay. I love you too, brother.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I wanted to say that. But this is going to be a great topic next week. So you may want to join us for that. It's going to be really, really good. It really sparked my interest because I know a lot of times we do things we don't know why we do them. Our grandson and granddaughter and our daughter, they do things sometimes, and particularly more our granddaughter and sons, they sit back and I say, boy, why you do that? I don't know, Dad. And you know what? In many cases, he don't. And she don't. So that's why I wanted to bring back, hey, why are you eating that Oreo cookie? You don't know? Well, maybe because you are this type of personality, and that's what that type of personality does. It likes this because it likes things that's going to make them be more hyper, and because I'll bring it to you next week. I don't want to spoil it for you. Right. Big 5 personality traits in eating. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Sounds interesting. Yes. So again, we thank each and every one of you for joining us. Yes. We want you all to have a super fantastic rest of your evening. Yes, please. A super fantastic week. We'll be coming live on Saturday for our live workouts. So if you can, join us. If you can't, hit the replay, hit the like, share.
We'll sweat right there with you.
Spread the good news, okay? So I want you all to always remember until we meet again.
Yes.
Our health is our wealth.
It is our wealth.
So let's make healthy choices.
That's right.
That will create what? Healthy habits.
That's right.
That will evolve into that healthy lifestyle that we all deserve, richly deserve to have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's get to the root of obtaining and sustaining.
That's right.
That abundant health that we're talking about.
Yes.
By eating more plants, moving our bodies.
That's right.
Okay. Stressing less. And definitely loving more. Y'all take care.
Take care, guys.
Until next time.
See